Nancy J. Exchange Television. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is such an amazing story, a true story. First, how did you hear about it, Gabriela? Did you find this story?
You know, the script was put into my hands indirectly via Kate, who had been attached to the script and who suggested to the producers that they took a look at me as a director based on Blackfish. Yeah, that's how I learned about, I didn't know about the story, didn't know about Megan Leavey. It was all through this script, and then was able to learn about her real life.
I didn't know about this story either. And I got lucky enough that Mickey Liddell, the producer, thought of me for it, and he sent me the script. And I thought, how do I not know this story, first of all? And how has it not already been told? Because it's so beautiful.
And it's current.
Very.
It's not an old
Yeah,
story.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So obviously Megan is the inspiration, the military, but how did that affect you and what inspired you to take on this movie?
Well, I've always sort of dreamt of playing a Marine in some way, and I'm a massive animal lover. I try and spend as much time as I can when I'm not working, which is one of the reasons Gabriella and I are friends, is helping animals, and we work with the Humane Society a lot, and it's a passion of mine. And so when I read the script, I just thought, oh my gosh, what is it missing? I mean, it's got all of the things that I've always wanted to do in a film, and the message is so beautiful, and it was a no-brainer for me.
And so much of your part is playing opposite Rex. How is that to direct an actor and a dog and then act with the dog?
Right.
Directing an actor and a dog when you have two of them are pros, not only pros at what they do, but really Kate, coming from a world of kind of understanding and loving animals, she got him. Their bond was not phoned in at all. So I'm sitting there thinking that I'm gonna, oh gosh, this is hard, and like, you know, what if he's unhappy, and but it was like, because they had spent so much time together, the moment they're on set together, she and he were bonding. And so for me, it was really about grabbing it and filming it when it was happening and making sure that I got it fast, because you don't want to do a lot of takes with a dog. So, but I feel like I had like two kind of amazing tools at my disposal. We
did feel very lucky with this specific dog actor. There were three of them, but Varco was the dog we used in almost everything, and it was his first movie, and he was so incredible. It was amazing to work with him. And like Gabriella said, you can't fake it when you're working with an animal. They feel everything you feel. Especially when you're attached by a leash I was literally holding on to this dog for most of it, and he could just feel my energy at all times. There was no room for being dishonest.
And you feel that in the movie, because you talk about that. This is a warrior dog, it's not a pet. This dog is going to feel what you are feeling.
Yeah. There's a lot of it as well that I related to, in that, you know, in the beginning, Megan's not comfortable at all with Rex. She's scared of him. And while I wasn't necessarily scared of Varco, I was a little intimidated. I'm used to dogs, but I'm not used to being in control of a massive German Shepherd, or being in control of an animal when you're in war or in a crazy situation. So all of those I could really relate to. It was easy. And then I had to bond with him in the movie as I did in real life. So it was a lot of things I could just easily connect to.
Kate, you said you always were interested in playing a Marine or soldier. What is it like when you put on that uniform and you've got to carry those weapons correctly?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of training involved. But I would say putting on the uniform on set for the first time, it's just a different perspective. I mean, I've always had a massive amount of respect for any soldier, and yet that day sort of made me go, oh wow, I mean, this is not this. We're just pretending here. But I can only imagine if this was real. I mean, it takes a lot of courage.
Did you film this in order? Because after you had been in Iraq for 6 months and you come back to the States, you were changed. I saw a difference in your character, in your look.
Well, that's great. Weirdly, we shot it in reverse.
We shot in reverse, but then we were able to do a couple scenes
right
with your dad later. So give or take, there was some. Most of it was a little bit out of order, but I think really from her training until returning from the war, that was pretty sequential. That was pretty. You really saw a Marine, and unsure, like, what am I doing here? Being deployed and going on missions. You really saw her become kind of battle weary, towards the end. And so that part I feel like helped a lot.
And we did get to do all the boot camp stuff first before we did any of the actual war scenes. So for me, that was great because, it really did feel like the beginning.
Right.
Well, what's interesting about a soldier, I mean, there's so much physical training involved. What about the emotional? What about the mental training? And then leaving it behind?
Well, that's one of the most interesting things to me about this story and about really any Marine's story who's been to war. What it feels like, or what it must feel like when you come home, and how you deal with people and how you communicate with your family. To me, that seems like just as challenging as being in an actual war is.
100%. That's the one thing we hoped one of the things we really wanted to make sure we got right is what it means to come back and feel understood and get the help you need or be with the partner you need to be with, to be able to really, engage audiences, and what that means is something I hope we do some justice to in the film. There's
a line that Gunny Common says to you: what you see, what you feel will be with you for the rest of your life. Is this the kind of movie, though, that is going to stick with you? I know it's going to stick with me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have been working since I was a kid, and I've done many things where I feel they really mean something to me, but I've never experienced anything like this. This story is something that means a lot to me, and it's very special to me, and the actual experience of making this movie was emotionally really, really challenging and demanding for us all, and it really bonded us even more. And working with an animal, it was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Why emotionally challenged?
Just the story.
The story. We felt like we had this weight of so much responsibility and trying to get it right. And we care so much. I think of like, how do we depict this properly? And like, we're doing the Iraq War, but we're not. That's not a film about the war, but it is. And so, how do you go about that with such respect? And how do you tell that properly when the story really is, Kate and Rex and Megan and Rex. So so sometimes, we would just have to kind of like calm yourself and realize that this is, if we can do that justice and we can stick with that story and tell that, then that will be the most profound thing.
And it seems like German Shepherds have kind of taken a back seat to Labs and Irish Setter. I mean, it was German Shepherds are so smart.
So smart. Yeah, so smart. I didn't grow up with, I grew up with lots of different dogs, but never a German Shepherd, and it was a really kind of fascinating experience. They're very, very wise. You feel like they know everything you're thinking at all times.
And Rex was your size, I think. I think he was a little bigger.
He was a little bigger than me, yeah.
Well, and you're talking about a wolf body. You're looking at him, and there's times where he would walk on, it was like, it's a straight up wolf. Like, are you kidding me? And then you look in this face, and he shoots you this look, and you feel like he sees you. So it's this interesting kind of dichotomy when you look at this animal, and they're pretty profound beasts.
But then you give them a few toys, and they're babies again.
And they're puppies.
It's really quite sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. And how about to the camera, a message to the troops all over the world? What's the two one?
Oh, obviously, thank you for your service, but more than that, I hope that this film does something to help people kind of understand when you come back, how you come back, what we can do to show you our gratitude.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Lisa here, so you're a movie lover? Well, in this day and age we see hundreds of movies a year in numerous genres like action, comedy, romance and more. Some of these movies are great and some just don't live up to our expectations. For all you movie lovers out there, here are some interesting facts from movies that you might or might not know. In the movie Carrie, the end of the movie was shot in reverse order, a technique of the film to make scenes look more ghost-like. A close viewing of the film will show cars moving in reverse. What do the 101 Dalmatians and Wendy from Peter Pan have in common? The 102 characters are the only characters in Disney's past to have both of their parents present and alive for the whole course of the movie. Gone with the Wind producers were fined $5,000 for allowing obscenities in the film's dialogue. The offensive and expensive word, damn. One of the films Will Smith is best known for almost didn't happen. The actor didn't want to participate in Men in Black until his wife persuaded him otherwise. In the film Monsters, Inc., Boo has a Woody doll. That's the famous cowboy from Toy Story. Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was based on a former boyfriend of writer J.K. Rowling. I Know Who Killed Me, starring Lindsay Lohan, has had the most Razzie Awards ever given to a film. Now, the Razzies are awards for the worst in movies. So, did you know any of these facts? Did you find them interesting? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.